Hello, 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 and welcome to this edition of A Quick Pint. Now, today I'd like to quickly summarise, for those of you that can't be buggered to watch the long-form videos, what is the psychology of a genius? And I want to do this because a lot of you have asked me this, but I think you want it done as a quick pint. Well, here we go. In essence, and if you want a reference, you can look at my book with Bruce Charlton, The Genius Famine. A genius is characterised by a combination of, a scientific genius this is, of outlier high intelligence, so very, very high intelligence, combined essentially with moderately low agreeableness, that is altruism and empathy, and moderately low conscientiousness, that is to say impulse control and rule following. Now, what this means in terms of the low impulse control and the low rule following is he is able to think outside the box. He is able to, and therefore he is able to think the unthinkable. He is able to break the rules. He is able to make connections that ordinary people simply cannot make or simply cannot bring themselves to make. He is prepared to think things that ordinary people just won't think. He is prepared to go there. And secondly, with regard to the low agreeableness, any breakthrough idea, any new idea will offend against vested interests and will upset people and will upset those that basically don't like change and are highly emotionally invested in the current way of doing things. But if you're low in agreeableness, then you don't care about that, so you're relatively high in, let's say, psychopathic traits, or you're too autistic to understand it would offend people anyway because you're utterly truth-focused and you're utterly focused on systematizing and making sense of things, and this overrides your desire to even think about getting on with people, and therefore you are prepared to present your new and offensive and boat-rocking idea. Now, to be slightly more nuanced than this, then, we can say that genius combines outlier high intelligence with some aspects of autistic personality, in particular obsessiveness, focus on systematizing, focus on the truth, making unusual psychological connections and creativity and that sort of thing, and also aspects of almost ADHD, aspects of impulsivity, aspects of an inability to follow the rules, taken over into intellectual life. Now that's the essence of it. Now we can go slightly further and we can say that it may well be that neuroticism, that is to say feeling negative feelings strongly, is also an element of genius, and this may cross over with the autism dimension, because there's a degree to which with autism, an autistic mind, as we discussed yesterday, is never at rest. It is always thinking. It is always ruminating. It takes in so much information, and therefore it takes in more than an ordinary person would take in. It is hypersensitive to detail, and therefore it notices things that ordinary people would not notice, and so on. And so there may be an element almost of anxiety to the genius, a desire to understand the chaotic, swirling, messy world which he experiences as a person that is high in autism, and therefore the neuroticism may also be relevant. But that's the essence of, then, the genius mind. Now, there are differences in the kinds of genius you get depending on the subject that you are talking about. And again, Bruce and I look at this. So if it's something like art, then the intelligence element is not so important, and those people are extremely high in the psychopathic traits, and extremely low in impulse control, extremely low in agreeableness, and extremely high in mental instability. And then as you move up from art all the way to mathematics, then people gradually get less mentally unstable, higher in agreeableness, and higher in conscientiousness, because of course it involves more and more precision as you move up towards mathematics, and it involves more and more cooperation and that kind of thing. But even so, the genius in a given area tends to have a higher average intelligence than the average normal academic in his area, combined with the personality type of somebody lower down this hierarchy of academic subjects. So the person that's the major innovator in, let's say, psychology may well have intelligence level that is as high as someone in physics, but he will have the personality type of someone that is a sort of an artist or something like that. And it is those things that combined which sort of make him the genius and make him the major innovator. So that is the essence then of scientific and to some extent artistic genius. It is outlier high intelligence combined with moderately psychopathic traits, combined with ADHD traits, and combined with traits of autism. These people tend to be the movers and shakers in the history of ideas. Hello, hello, hello! The Jolly Heretic is an online public house which meets on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. New York, in which we discuss the kind of based, fearless science which is increasingly expunged from our woke, joke universities. If you would like to help the Jolly Heretic public house, and there are many ways you can do so, please, please, please become one of my patrons on Subscribestar. Also, if you want to, you can donate to the channel using Odysee and Entropy, and you can also purchase Jolly Heretic merchandise, such as shirts and mugs. All of the links are in the description. Again, I'd be most violently grateful if you could assist the Jolly Heretic Public House, and I will see you all soon, and goodbye!